What if I told you that being over 40 is not the reason your muscle gains have slowed down? We have tons of research proving that older men can build just as much muscle as younger men. In fact, this study comparing middle-aged men and college-aged men showed that the older men gained 17% more muscle mass than the younger men. So if we know that older men can gain muscle just as fast as younger men, why have your muscle gains slowed down? In these studies, where older men matched the muscle growth of younger men, the thing that stood out the most was how hard they trained. So if you think you have to train less or lighter because you're getting older, you're wrong. In fact, now is the time to ramp things up a bit. The question then becomes, how hard should I train and what exactly does that look like? And make sure you watch till the end of the video because I'm gonna hook you up with a full program strategically designed for men over 40 who want to maximize their muscle gains. Now, the first thing we must do is train close to failure. Failure and non-failure training play a significant role in strength and hypertrophy. In this recent systematic review, researchers found that in individuals with prior lifting experience, the closer they trained to failure, the more muscle growth they experienced. Now, this isn't to say you should train to absolute failure where you physically fail on a rep. Multiple studies have shown that training with 1 to 2 reps in reserve can produce similar hypertrophy to training to failure. In one study, 50 trained individuals were split into 2 groups. One group training to failure and another group who left 2 reps in the tank. And while the failure group saw slightly greater gains, the trade-off in fatigue, muscle damage, and injury risk could make the difference negligible. Going to absolute failure can hinder your recovery, which can slow down overall muscle growth. So the key is training close to failure, hard enough to stimulate hypertrophy without the excessive fatigue or compromised form. That said, if you're training with 2 to 3 reps left in the tank and not seeing results, it's probably time to step it up. The more experienced you are, the closer you'll need to train to failure for continued progress. So how do you know if you're close to failure? A simple way to feel whether the set is already approaching failure is when the rep speed starts to slow down. This is usually when you're struggling to move the weight no matter the force you apply. And according to the research, the slower your reps get, the closer you are to failure. So next time you're in the gym, think less about hitting a certain rep range and instead aim to push your sets to a point where you only have 1 to 2 reps in the tank. Next, we'll want to increase training volume. This meta-analysis found that a higher volume program led to more gains in lean body mass. This study, comparing training volume in younger and older men, found that while doubling exercise volume had limited effects in younger men, it significantly increased muscle protein synthesis in older men. To put it simply, your muscles naturally lose the ability to effectively respond to a given training stimulus as you age. And based on research, simply increasing your training volume might be enough to offset this anabolic resistance to exercise. Since optimal training volume varies by individual, I recommend gradually increasing the number of sets you perform for a given exercise over time. Start by adding 1 extra set per main lift and adjust based on recovery and progress. And lastly, we must train with heavier loads. When lifting heavy, the central nervous system recruits significantly more motor units, which increases muscle activation. This allows a greater percentage of muscle fibers to experience growth-producing tension, leading to better rates of hypertrophy. In this 2024 study comparing heavy resistance training with moderate intensity training, found that the heavy group achieved significantly better results. Over the course of a year, the group training with heavy loads saw greater increases in lean mass and strength compared to the group training with lighter loads. Not only only that, but research shows that lighter load training requires pushing closer to failure to achieve the same muscle growth compared to heavy lifting further from failure. And because lighter load training will require that you push to absolute failure for best results, it will create more fatigue and muscle damage, increasing the time we need to recover. Heavy lifting, on the other hand, allows you to maximize growth without hindering your recovery, leading to more consistent training and thus more gains long term. And if you're a bit confused, here's a simple rule of thumb. For your primary compound lifts, aim to leave 2 reps in the tank before ending your set. When it comes to smaller isolation movements, leaving 1 rep in the tank would be acceptable. And if you're looking for a proven, done-for-you program specifically designed to maximize growth, grab a copy of my book, Mass 40. This is a high-frequency training program created specifically for men over 40 who want to maximize muscle and strength. If that's you, click the link in the description, enter your name and email, and get instant access to the program. Did you find this video helpful? If so, click the like button below, as it'll truly help out the channel. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe for more videos, and don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss the next one. Peace.